Hello again and welcome back to the Tim Buchanan Coaches Show. I'm Craig Harbuck with the Aledo Athletic Booster Club along with head football coach, athletic director, and coach of three-time back-to-back state champion, Aledo Bearcats. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, give us a little breakdown of the game. I mean, we all watched it, but you were down there. Tell us about it.
It was a lot of fun, first of all. Good football game. We had a good start. Offensively, get down there. Matt Bishop gets us in the end zone early. We kind of have a little pickup. We fumble a punt and give them a chance to score and everything. But Todd Christian and the defense came through for us. Todd intercepts one, runs it back 70 yards for a touchdown. We end up 20-0 at one point, and that's when we had the hiccup and fumble a punt. They score. Luckily, right before half, they drop one in the end zone. Football gods were on our side. Third quarter didn't go as good as we'd wanted.
Yeah, we're up 28-7 at half, sort of cruising.
And John comes in at halftime, and I was worried about his shoulder. He had a bruised shoulder, and he goes, "Coach, my knee." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "I got hit on it. It swelled up again." And I looked at it. It was about that big around. I said, "Well, can you go?" And he goes, "Coach, I can't go." And I said, "Okay, John." I said, "You can't play or you can't go?" And he goes, "Oh, no, I can play. I just can't go. I can't kick it into gear." And, you saw him break a run in the second quarter, but they caught him,
right,
which is unusual for John to ever get
usually
caught.
He's gone.
The guy had an angle on him, but usually people don't catch him even
right
with an angle. And he just said, "I cannot bend it all the way because of all the swelling that was in it." And so I told Robbie, I said, "Robbie, we need to come up with a plan to use John as a decoy for the third quarter and try to let Matt throw the football, try to let somebody else run the football." They're good on defense.
Yeah, they were.
And, so it kind of stifled us a little bit in the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, we got John back involved, got him the football again, and kind of closed the deal. And the defense just played great. I knew that if, those guys are good football players on offense. Had explosive players all over the field, wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, big old offensive line, gigantic offensive line. And for our defense to hold those guys to really, they should have only had 21. We gave them a touchdown.
Right.
We
gave them two touchdowns, really. You get we go after the field goal attempt, and you run into the kicker.
Right.
Let's score a touchdown.
Right.
Go.
And on that drive, we fumbled the kick, the punt, and then we hold them. They kick a field goal, and we rough the daggum punter.
Well, they missed the field goal.
We roughed the kicker.
Right.
And, so we ended up giving them, really, we gave them the first touchdown. And then the other three they earned.
Right.
They did a good job of moving the football on us, but we knew it was going to be very difficult to hold them scoreless. But offense, I can't say enough about offensive line and wide receivers and Matt Bishop.
Yeah, if you think about Matt Bishop, he was 14 of 17, 186 yards, but he rushes for 3 touchdowns and then passes for 2 touchdowns.
Right.
2 touchdowns to Parker Bradham. And we've heard all season, we've heard for the last 3 years, it was Jonathan Gray. But if we don't have the Matt Bishops and the Parker Bradhams and the Pate Davises and the Preston Bartleys and the Willie Gibsons, we don't go 14-2 and win state championship. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, same thing last year.
Right.
When Jonathan had banged his knee up a little bit.
Against Hereford.
Matt Bishop, Michael Mann, Willie Gibson. And then, that offensive line is what gives us time to either throw the football or creates the running lanes for us to run the football. You look at the offensive line, you got Michael Wilson, left tackle.
Right. All-state last year.
All-state, Division I commit. Then you have Latham Johnson, All-State this year. Hayden Lambert, Division I football player. Giant kid, 6'5", right. Texas State. You've got A.J. Ray. Then you got Jace Christian. Then you got the backups that come in there that aren't really backups,
Any place else, they play football every day.
Corey Stidle,
right.
Good, heck of a sophomore football player. So those guys are really, really good football players. Have done a great job. Michael's been starting since he was, or playing on varsity since he was a sophomore, and those guys are good football players. talked about our wide receiver core. I mean, everybody knows we got a great wide receiver core. Caleb Freisinger's a junior. Great to have him coming back.
Right.
Willie Gibson, the junior. Great to have him coming back. But those seniors, Preston Bartley,
Michael
Mann, Parker Bradham, and the other junior, Pate Davis, who played out there, had 5 catches, had a big night for us, and he'll probably be throwing the football next year instead of catching it.
Yeah, Pate, 5 catches, 65 yards,
Yep.
but those catches were
Big.
Oh my gosh, it's
Big.
3rd and 8, and Pate runs out there and just stands right there 10 yards out in their little zone.
Yep.
Five different times and
Yep.
continue our drives. It was total team. It has been the last 3 years, but especially this year, total team effort.
Oh, it really is. Jonathan's a great football player, but good football teams can shut down one player.
Oh yeah,
And they didn't shut Jonathan down, but the reason they couldn't shut him down was because of those other kids out there.
Jonathan finishes with 241 yards on 30 carries, has 1 touchdown, but that one
Right.
touchdown and not that this is and Jonathan will tell you and you'll tell us that's not the biggest thing was winning and winning as a team. But Jonathan does break the national record of 205 TDs in his career, which that's unheard of. He finishes with 10,889 yards. He had 3,886 yards rushing this year, which unheard of once again. And if you go back and look at Matt Bishop, Matt B finishes his career with over 8,000 yards passing, 33 touchdowns this year. 85 touchdowns in his career. If you look at this year, he had 6 interceptions and that was it.
Yeah.
Passing percentage of almost 70% his career. So, it's exciting to see, the MVP, Matt Bishop of the game, what he's done over his career. And Jonathan, of course. But, Parker Bradham, 2 DDs.
Right.
Willie Gibson, sets the tone with the 1 reception, 44 yards. He's happened to be that for a touchdown. So offensively, you're right. That was never in question. It was our defense that right after it really seemed like when we got in the playoffs, the defense all of a sudden we are gelling. It is at the right time.
And the thing that pushed our defense over the hump, I really believe, was probably the littlest guy on the defensive side of the ball, Todd Christian. Mm-hmm. Todd, he'd started for us at wide receiver. Played a little bit of defense as a sophomore, but really was a wide receiver for us, our inside slot. And we adjusted on offense. We took him off offense, put Michael Mann at the slot, Willie Gibson at the split end spot, and took Todd and put him on the defensive side of the ball. He says he weighs 156 pounds. If he does, he's got the heaviest bones I've ever seen known to man, because he's a little guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's little. But you should see him on the field. He knows every play that they're going to run. He's in there telling the linebackers where the ball's going to be run. He's talking to the defensive front. He doesn't just tell the secondary how to line up. He's talking to everybody on the field. And we've got good football players. We've got Gunnar Johnson. We've got James Place back there. You got Shea Wood, Jalen Hill. You've got those guys, Dane Davis. But all those guys are really quiet individuals. We needed somebody with a little moxie to them that would walk out there, little swagger to it, and that was Todd. That was Todd, and Todd brought that moxie, that swagger to our defense, and really turned our defense into what I call Bearcat defense. Mm-hmm. A defense that's going to go out and think they're going to shut you out in every football game. Right. And Todd was the guy who did it, and he had the 70-yard interception for a touchdown that really got a momentum back on our side.
Yeah, that was key because we had just thrown an interception.
Right.
And the very next play, pick 6 for Todd, 7 yards. Speaking of on defense, the defensive MVP was Jalen Hill. Jalen, 7 solo tackles, 2 for losses, 1.5 sacks, but never a more important guy in a game than Jalen Hill in the fourth quarter.
Well, Jalen was plenty tired. I don't know if he ever came off field when we were on defense. We subbed just about everybody else out there in the front 4. And Jalen was used to getting to come out every once in a while. He kept looking at the sideline doing like this, and we were going like that. No, we're subbing for the guy on the other side. You stay in there, Jalen. And he got plenty tired, but he never quit fighting. I mean, he played his tail off, and the guy that he was going, Jalen's a 235-pound defensive end. The smallest person blocking on him weighed 296 pounds. Was 6'7", 296.
Gigantic.
The other guy was 6'3", 250. The other one's about 6'4", 63, I don't know, that came in number 63, I don't know how big he was. He was a giant of a man. And we kept flipping Jalen from side to side because what they did, they started trying to put 55, who was their all-state offensive tackle. They were trying to put him on Jalen. So if they thought Jalen was going to be on the right, they'd put that guy over there at left tackle, and then we'd flip Jalen to the other side. But it really Jalen's a heck of a football player. Gunnar Johnson had a great game.
Oh yeah,
I know he messed up and ran into the punter one time and ran into the field goal kicker one time, and somebody said, "Well, what was he thinking?" I said, "Well, he's thinking he's going to block the darn punt and kick."
Oh, what else you doing? Exactly.
He's playing football.
Right.
It happens. Guys that make $1 million a year do it on Sundays. So it happens. When you're trying hard to make a play, sometimes you make a little mistake, and I'm telling you, it's both of those that much of a mistake.
Thinking about defense, we score 885 points for the season, but defense only gives up 354. You average 50 points in the playoffs, giving up, what do we give up? Maybe 17 average, maybe 20 average in the playoffs. That's that's a recipe for your third straight state championship.
Yep. I mean, it's great. I mean, defensive and special teams. Chance Tavares. People made fun of our kicking game all year long. I think Chance Tavares kicked 79 extra points. He's ranked. He's in the top 20 on extra points in high school football.
Yeah, didn't miss a one.
7 of 7.
That's exactly right. That's what it takes. Punting wise, we only punted once, but Garrett did a good job this year punting. You're right. It's total team effort.